Like I said before, in the state, I would say 700 to 1,000. In Los Angeles, which was a large concentrated area of blacks, we're talking about anywhere from 300 to 400 people. San Francisco, probably the same thing. That's a large concentration of black people. Wherever there was a large concentration of blacks or a large concentration of minorities. Don't let me only say blacks, because we're talking about the Chicanos and we're talking about the Chinese, too.
But among every ethnic group, there were ethnic groups of that group who could be recruited by the FBI to infiltrate their own.
Right.
And when that came out, I read that article. I have that article. The whole Rolling Stone magazine was about this crooked LAPD cop story of how Biggie got killed and how Pac got killed, and then it named one of the bodyguards who was with me, that was my relief bodyguard for Tupac, named Kevin Hackey, and I can say this because his name is out there like that, and we did a documentary, and he came out and said that he was an FBI informant, and he was there to infiltrate death row for drug racketeering. Now, all along, when we were working together, I never knew that. No one never knew that. But the Rolling Stone magazine announced it. So Kevin sued him over it because they exposed him. All right?
When they become interested in a person or a group of people, they try to find out as much as they possibly can, psychologically and academically and social-wise. Who do they run with? Do they go to certain nightclubs? Does this one have a sex hang-up? Is the man impudent? You know, anything that can be used later on.
So after I read that article, and then I started seeing all these LAPD cops that was from the magazine, they had them in there, pictures of them dressed in red suits, then I started thinking differently.
People are into a fantasy world when they believe that the Federal Bureau of Investigation finds out what it finds out through the method of scientific investigation, that the agents can just go out and they can plot a course and they can follow a man everywhere and they take notes and such. That's not the name of the game. The name of the game is find someone that is close to that man or can get close to that man or that group or whatever, and have him do the legwork.
Let me ask you this last question.
Absolutely, to answer your question, absolutely. Somebody set him up. Now, the conclusion, recently, within the last week or two, the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, the FBI released a 349-page document saying that in their findings that Suge Knight and Reggie Wright orchestrated and put a hit on both of them, Notorious B.I.G. and Tupac Shakur. That was the FBI's findings after they released their findings and decided to close the case on that murder investigation.
So in other words, there obviously then would have to be more informants than agents.
Definitely.
What would the ratio be?
I think every special agent usually has anywhere from 6 to 7 what I would call prime informants or agent provocateurs. And then also you have anywhere from 20 to 25 people per agent also that are not really what you would call the everyday informant or agent provocateur, meaning that that person is not on a steady payroll by the Bureau.
For them too. Now, that's what they wanted to do. The FBI did that. And the only reason why they can't bring anyone to trial is because they had 17 informants, and all of them said no, they wouldn't testify. So if you don't have no one to testify to the facts, you don't have a case, and the DA is not going to take it.
Type of mass movement that's going on. Are there leaders? are the essential people that started this. They want to find that out. Who was the one that was out there getting the group of people together and said, hey, let's go get this? You know, they want to know that.
So LAPD being Biggie's jurisdiction of where he was murdered at, and then Las Vegas being Tupac's jurisdiction where he was murdered at, they're cold case files, and it's going to take somebody to have to solve them. When we die, we only die one time. So I can only die once. So I have no fear of death.
Okay, it's Thermal Sound Waves. We've been talking to Frank Alexander, former bodyguard of Tupac Shakur, author of Got Your Back.